Namaste. Namaste and welcome to this short practice of plank pose, but with the wall. So I've adjusted my camera so I'm much closer than normal. It feels quite odd, so apologies. But we are going to use the wall instead of the floor to do a little bit of core strengthening, supporting practice. So that this can be done by people who normally do chair yoga. If you want to give it a go, absolutely. It's very, very good for the body. But also by those of you who feel it's difficult to be on the floor, perhaps you've got sore knees or you just find it very challenging to push the body away from the floor. And it is more challenging against the floor because of the action of gravity. So when we're practicing in relation to the floor and the whole of the body is facing the floor, we have to push the whole body away from the floor and really work against gravity. But here at the wall, we don't have that. We can use a little bit of gravity, but as much as we want to. I've got a little block with me for this practice as well. I'll show you a technique with that a little bit later on. So the first thing we're going to do is establish our plank in relation to the wall. So when we're on the floor, we would have our feet and arms at the same height. But on the wall, we don't do that. We do want to step away from the wall and then find our way to the wall with our forearms. So you might start with your hands on the wall and then put your forearms down. I mean, here we want to have a sensation that perhaps the elbows are just in front of the shoulders or perhaps just underneath is fine. And we can use the same handholds against the wall as we would on the floor. So you can have your palms together, hands apart, interlace the fingers and tuck the little finger in, turn the palms to the wall or turn the palms away from the wall. Any of these is good. So I'm going to start with my palms together. And we want to make sure that the elbows are not wider than the shoulders. So we don't want to end up like this. We want to have the elbows just slightly inside of shoulder width apart, and you might need to adjust your position to find the right place for you. Already we're holding here, but we want to maybe establish ourselves with a slightly wider foot, a slightly wider distance between the feet, and then tucking your tailbone under, press the wall away from you. And we're scooping the belly in at the same time, so we can really feel lift underneath the body. And we're using the upper back, almost spreading the shoulder blades apart to press down into the wall here. And this might be enough. It's a really good place to start. You have to really activate through your center. You have to really activate through the arms. And when you're ready, you can just gently step towards the wall and relax the arms down to your side. Give yourself a little dancing shoulder or a little shake out of the arms and legs, whatever feels good. It might be a wriggle of the hips, doesn't matter. Whatever way you like to release, that is good for me. So with the feet flat on the floor and the forearms on the wall, we do get a quite nice sense of length in the body. We begin to establish that needful press of the upper arms into the lower arms, sorry, into the wall. So we really engage with the upper arms, the shoulders, the back and the chest. But if we take our feet a little bit further away from us and come onto our tiptoes, we increase that effort. So you can either start with your elbows on the wall and walk your feet away and then come onto your tiptoes, or you can start from further away, lean towards the wall and find your tiptoe strength, maybe with your hands in the press-up position if you prefer, and then bring your elbows to the wall. Doesn't matter which way around you go. The further away from you your feet are, the more challenging it is. The further away from the wall, sorry, the feet are, the more challenging it is. And here perhaps you want to try one of the other hand holds, maybe tucking the little finger in and making a fist out of the hands. We want to press the wall away from us, scoop the belly in, press, just gently sort of play with the position of the hips. Maybe you want to tuck the tailbone under a bit, and then see if there's a little bit more room to step your feet even further away from you. Keeping that sense of length through the body so that we get that real strengthening, the whole body working in a strengthening position. And then when you're ready, you can just simply walk towards the wall, relax your arms down, give your arms a little bit of a wiggle, shoulders and neck, maybe do a little dancing dancing wiggle just to release. You can always shake out the arms. The difference between practicing on the floor and practicing on the wall is on the floor you have a nice yoga mat to cushion yourself, whereas on the wall you don't. And you might find that your arms are irritated by that because they're not used to having a lot of effort placed there. So some studios have small bits of mat, they cut them, and you could put a small bit of mat underneath your arms if you wanted, or just wear a nice jumper or a hoodie, something that's got a bit of cushioning for your arms if you need it. So we have been doing forearm planks because this week we've been doing forearm planks, and I did a short video of that on the floor. But you can do this also with the hands. So if you don't have sensitivity in your wrists, or if you do, but it's just not as bad in this position, you can have your hands on the wall and step your feet away. And again, you can either have your heels down, you might move your hands a little bit lower down to create that sense of length. We don't want to lock our arms straight, so we do want to keep a little soft elbow, but maybe just rolling the inner elbows forward to really activate those muscles in the upper back. Or you might come onto your tiptoes, might even find a little bit more length. But it's the same established center that we want, this sense of pressing distance away from our body and the wall, firm in the legs, the belly, and the buttocks, but keeping the neck nice and loose. So no rigidity in the neck. And again, when you're ready, stepping to the wall, releasing your hands down, giving them a shake out in the wrists, or a little roll through the wrists if you like. So there are all sorts of different variations you can do once you've established your plank at the wall. And we are going to try now with a little one-footed plank. Ooh, how exciting. So we can do a number of different things here. We're going to try establishing our plank first, coming onto our tiptoes, feet a reasonable distance apart, not too close together, not too far apart. Find your plank position, and then we're just going to bend one knee and then the other. So we get this little movement through the legs, and we need to keep strength in the upper body as we move, but we can hold our center firm and just move through the legs. Very nice. And then when you've done that a few times, you might bring your feet a bit closer together and lift the right leg, and then draw the right knee underneath the body, maybe chin towards the knee, or chin to chest, nose to knee, and then lengthen and curl. So we can do, let's say, 3 on each side, and then stepping into your plank in the center, just re-establishing that real strength through center, and then lifting the left leg and curling the knee underneath. Moving with the shoulders and the head a little bit, or the head and the neck a little bit, just to create that curl, and then coming back to the center, if you wish to, walking your feet to the wall, releasing the arms down, giving yourself a little wriggle. When we're doing work that requires a lot from our center, it raises our heart rate and it raises our breath rate. So you can really tell that you're doing something that requires effort from large parts of the body. And this is especially useful if you're trying to establish strength, but also if you're trying to flatten your blood sugar curves, then doing things like planks are really good. They use lots and lots of effort from the body, so your body uses up some of the sugar available in your blood. But if planks on the floor are just not for you, planks on the wall might just be the ticket. So our final variation, I think, for today will be side planks. And so for these, we come into the same position. You can do this on your hands or on your forearms as you choose. We want to have the feet a reasonable distance away from the wall and really establishing our strength, tucking the tailbone slightly, lifting in the belly, really creating space underneath the body. And then we're going to take the feet a reasonable distance apart and let the heels come to the left. Take the weight onto the left arm and reach the right arm away from the wall. So we're now sideways onto the wall. The feet are one in front of the other. We're reaching the right arm away so we can open in the chest, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, but we're still pressing into the wall with the left arm. And then we can come back to the center, just twisting our way back to center, Re-establishing yourself in the center before twisting the opposite direction, reaching your arm away, really thinking about creating space between you and the wall still, creating that length down the sides of the body, maybe rolling the right shoulder backwards to open the chest a little, and coming back to the center. We can do this one more time to each side. So from the center, we're twisting our heels in one direction, looking in the opposite direction. Here, if you wish to, you can step one foot on top of the other. It's slightly more challenging, and you can even release that foot away from the wall. So this is even harder to hold. Really need to be working with the underneath of the body. We'll come back to center, re-establish your plank in the best possible position for you, making sure you're strong through center, and then heels turn to the opposite side. Maybe stepping the feet one on top of the other, maybe reaching that top leg away. So you make a little star shape, really firm in this underneath arm. And when you're ready, coming back to the center, stepping your feet in, relaxing your arms down. Give yourself a nice little wiggle here. One of the nicest ways to release tension from the upper back, neck, and shoulders is to do a sugary forward bend. Sugary is a Scottish word meaning not stable, but in this case, it just means because we wiggle, but your feet should be quite stable, hopefully. So here we would put the right foot in front of the left and get nice and buoyant in the knees, and then we're just giving our shoulders a little wiggle, and at the same time, we're going to fold forwards. And as we come forwards, maybe the arms dangle a little bit. We can be firm in the belly or lifting the belly a little and just get quite sugary in the back of the neck, sugary across the back of the body. And then press into the legs to sugar your way to standing. And you can go up and down a few times if you find that useful, or you can simply just go to the other side, stepping forward with the left leg, getting nice and buoyant in the knees, that sort of bounce. It's quite good. Start sugaring your shoulders or wiggling your shoulders, and then leaning slightly forward. As you lean forwards, the arms dangle. Scoop your belly in as you come over this front leg. Do a little bit of sugaring. And then pressing into the legs to sugar your way back up to standing. And when you're ready, step onto both feet. And hopefully that's left you feeling a little loose across the upper back. But of course, if you need to, you can do all of the usual hand stretches or arm stretches, chest stretches, whatever feels good. I hope you enjoy this side plank and plank, these variations, and you can add them into your practice and practice them regularly if you want to build your way to more strength. And they are, as I say, fantastic for the body. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. That would be great. And I'll see you for another practice soon. Namaste.